Hey guys, Eric with Blue Line Fishing. Welcome back to the channel. Your time's important to me as always. And what we're going to do in today's time is we're going to check out the new TUSH from Core Tackle. This is a new swim bait hook and a little bit different way to rig it. I think it's pretty interesting. You guys stick with me and we'll check it out. So this is the TUSH, the new swim bait hook from Core Tackle. Comes in, I believe, 8 different sizes and weights, all the way up to, for example, 7/0 hook, which is really big for those great big swim baits. I personally don't fish those biggest swim baits, or a size like this, which is a 1/4 ounce with a 2/0 hook. I think that's perfect for a lot of applications that I usually use, which would be like a 4-inch or even a 3.5 inch swim bait. I want to show you how this thing rigs up, but before we do that, I'll give you a little closer look at it. You can see, obviously, this is a full-length shaft weight on here, which what I like about that is your traditional jig heads on a swim bait, for example, like this one. You know, you got this, or you can do a ball head on it, however you do. If you got your weight forward jig head, what that does, it tends to want to make this bait dive down quickly head first. If that's the action you're looking for a reaction bite or something like that, great. But if you want something that goes down on kind of more of a glide and a little bit of a hover, I think these full-length weights on this shaft right here, because you can see it goes from basically the line tie, which is a vertical line tie on this. Give you a look at that right there. So angled vertical line tie on this, but the weight goes all the way to pretty much the bend of the hook here. So it's going to have this more center of gravity in the bait, if you will, which is going to give it more of that shimmering, hovering fall as it goes through the water column. So the way you rig this up is, got my swim bait here. I'll probably have to put my cheaters on so I can see what I'm doing, because, you know, I'm half blind. Anyway, we'll get this on and we're just going to rig it up nose first, just like you would your jig head. So it's just going to go right in the head of the bait there. And as I push it in, I'm going to go right down to where the bait starts hitting some of these weights here. Bottom section, I'm going to turn it. Not really turn it, but I'm going to push it in, push all my weights in right here until I get all the way to the front, and we're almost there. You can see all the way to the front of the bait. So we push them in like that right there, and now I've got a perfectly rigged TUSH rig on this swim bait. So the difference being, as you can see here, I've got my line tied just out the nose of the bait here. That hook's sticking up there nice and high for those hook sets, but you can see how it makes much more of a compact design. And I know this is a longer swim bait head, but this is one I actually use a lot, and I've had a lot of success on it. But there are times that I don't want that bait to fall head first, and I don't want that long of a profile. So with the TUSH rig here, you can see not only is the head not exposed and hidden, but there's weight distributed the length of the shaft, which instead of falling, this is still going to fall, you know, obviously head first, but it's going to have more of a slower glide motion through the water. Or if you're working on keeping that bait up in the water column, you're fishing this in open water, it's going to be a little bit easier, I think, with this angled line tie and the weight distributed down the shank of the hook to do that. So that's the kind of the advantage of this new TUSH rig from Core Tackle. So something else I wanted to show you guys that I like about this TUSH rig is that if you look, the hook point right here and the line tie, they're offset. The hook point sits up higher than the line tie. I think a lot of times that is advantageous for hook sets. I think you get better hook sets with it, and I don't think it pushes the bait, the plastic, down on the shank, or the shank in the bend of the hook as bad when you do make a hook set, because I think a lot of times when you're fishing something, for example, like this extra wide gap, this EWG hook, happens because look, on this hook, you've got the hook point and the line tie, they are in line. They're flat right there, they are in line together. If you look on this one here, they're offset, and I think a lot of times fish come unpinned, they jump off a little easier when you're fishing this style of bait versus one that that style of hook, I should say, versus one where the hook sets up a little higher than the line tie. So I think that's just little subtle differences with this terminal tackle rig here, this hook, you know, with the center gravity weight, and then you've got the hook point that's up a little higher than the line tie, you've got the angled line tie. I think it makes a difference. But I think this is going to be a pretty cool swim bait setup, and you can probably find other applications for it too for the upcoming fishing season here. So that's it, guys. That is the TUSH Rig. I hope you guys got something out of today's video. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'll leave some product discount codes down in the description below. And also, if you guys have experience with this rig or one that's similar, I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say. So be sure to leave me a comment, maybe a like down below as well. Thanks again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And remember, until that next video, get out there and fish.